Shocking phenomenon. Lisa throws Citi Field into chaos, unveiling the most unexpected moment of BLACKPINK's deadline tour. No one expected it. No one saw it coming. But on a night that was supposed to be another monumental stop in BLACKPINK's deadline tour, Citi Field, a stadium accustomed to deafening cheers and seismic performances, turned into something else entirely, a controlled explosion of disbelief, emotion, and viral sensation. In less than 60 seconds, Jenlisa Mano Band did what no headline act, no tour announcement, no promotional campaign had achieved before. She brought one of America's most iconic venues to its knees. What did Lisa do at Citi Field that left fans breathless, the press stunned, and the industry scrambling for answers? From the moment fans filled the stadium, something was different. The air wasn't merely electric, it was volatile. Thousands sat beneath the twilight sky, fanning themselves from the heat, checking their phones, joking nervously with strangers, all unaware they were on the verge of witnessing one of the most unpredictable moments in recent pop music history. They came for BLACKPINK, for the megawatt glamour, the synchronized choreography, the thunderous bass lines, and the blazing stage effects. They left having seen something else entirely. Lisa, unfiltered, unannounced, and undeniably transformative. What occurred at Citi Field cannot be adequately described as a performance. It was a rupture, the kind that doesn't just break expectations but rewrites them. The lights dimmed, and the familiar anticipatory hum descended over the arena. Then silence. It was the kind of silence that grips, suspends, and chills. In that instant, the audience didn't yet know it, but they were seconds away from witnessing the seismic shift of an entire tour's narrative when Lisa stepped into the spotlight, microphone in hand. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Her entrance alone detonated a collective reaction from the crowd that was more animal than intellectual, a visceral wave of sound, raw and uncontrolled, that tore through Citi Field like a storm front. Screams turned into sobs. Phones shook in trembling hands. For a brief and surreal moment, the audience was no longer watching a concert. They were witnessing the eruption of an icon into something more, a disruptor. Within a minute, the entire atmosphere morphed. It wasn't a set list, and it wasn't a surprise guest. It was Lisa, her presence, her pacing, her energy. Clad in an outfit that no one had seen in previews or rehearsals, moving with an almost predatory calm, Lisa turned the stage into an altar and herself into a force of nature. There were no graphics behind her, no backup dancers, no scripted transitions, just her silhouette against a pulsing black and crimson backdrop, matching the rhythm of a beat that no one had heard before. And then, the drop, out of nowhere, the bass kicked in, aggressive, pulsating, unfamiliar. It wasn't a remix. It wasn't from her solo debut. It was something entirely new. A track unreleased, unannounced, and unquestionably hers. The crowd erupted, but this time not just in recognition. This was confusion, wonder, disbelief, all bleeding into one unstoppable roar. The cameras shook, the sound distorted, but no one cared. Lisa had just introduced a completely unknown track, and she performed it as if she had been waiting her entire life to let it out. Every movement was precise, yet it didn't feel rehearsed. There was something wild about her, like instinct wrapped in choreography. She moved not like a dancer, but like a message. Her eyes locked onto different corners of the stadium, each gaze sending shockwaves through rows of onlookers. There was no safety in the spectacle. It was dangerous, mesmerizing. She didn't perform for approval. She performed to dismantle expectations. Behind her, the LED panels throbbed like a heartbeat. Gone were the usual visuals of flowers, flames, or neon-laced cityscapes. Instead, they pulsed red and black, matching every stomp, every flick of her wrist. It was not aesthetic. It was surgical, a calculated disruption, a coded message delivered not with words, but with presence. And then, silence again. I end the middle of the song. Lisa walked to the edge of the stage. The beat vanished. The crowd froze. You could hear someone gasp, another person whisper a question. She looked over the massive bodies and raised her microphone, but said nothing. Just a smile. A slow, deliberate smile that suggested knowledge, confidence, and total control. She turned, walked off stage, and left a stunned audience screaming in disbelief. People thought that was it. A solo teaser? A 1-minute shock. But Citi Field was far from finished unraveling. Moments later, BLACKPINK returned. This time as a group. The screams returned, but they carried something new, anticipation tinged with confusion. Because now, during the reintroduction of their hit Pink Venom, something had changed. Lisa was front and center, not just in formation but in dominance. Her verse had been expanded. Her rap was entirely rewritten. Her delivery? Ruthless. It wasn't fan service. It was a power shift. Jennie, Rose, and Jisoo took their cues from her. In that moment, Lisa wasn't part of BLACKPINK. She was leading it. Fans noticed. So did the media. So did every camera capturing fan cams that would go viral within hours under titles like "Lisa just hijacked the entire Deadline tour at Citi Field." No exaggeration. The online chaos was immediate. Lisa became the #1 trending term globally. Her unannounced track was clipped and shared millions of times, all before the concert had even ended. What followed was a tsunami of analysis, speculation, and admiration. Was this planned? Was it a stunt? A marketing move to reignite interest in the final leg of the tour? Or was it a message, perhaps even a warning, that Lisa Manoban was no longer confined to the borders of group identity? The truth? It doesn't matter. What matters is the result. Citi Field was no longer a concert venue. It became a historic landmark in pop culture. That performance, or more accurately, that disruption, marked a turning point not just in BLACKPINK's tour, but in Lisa's career. She didn't just steal the spotlight. She redefined it for years. Industry insiders have noted Lisa's potential, her unmatched stage presence, her global appeal, her razor-sharp instincts. But what happened at Citi Field proved something deeper. Lisa doesn't just know how to command attention. She knows how to weaponize it. And that's why people didn't look away. They couldn't. Every clip from that night saw massive retention rates. Fans weren't just watching. They were studying, replaying, analyzing. They wanted to understand what they had just seen. Was this the beginning of a solo renaissance? A hint at a new label? A coded confirmation of her growing creative independence? Nobody knows for sure. And that's the point. Lisa has mastered the art of giving just enough to keep the world talking, but never enough to give it closure. It's genius. Strategic ambiguity wrapped in stardom. A masterclass in modern entertainment branding. If you were at Citi Field that night, you witnessed a moment that will likely be dissected in academic papers on fandom dynamics, discussed in marketing seminars on brand evolution, and referenced in every major publication's end-of-year recap. Lisa turned a single night into a case study in shock and awe performance strategy, and if you're wondering what's next, join the club. The silence since the performance has only amplified the speculation. Will she speak on it? Will a documentary or behind-the-scenes vlog surface? Is this the precursor to a major solo campaign or a renegotiation of artistic identity? Maybe, maybe not. Lisa owes no explanations. What she owes is the art, and she delivered that in full at Citi Field. Pure, undiluted, unmatched. If you were lucky enough to see it live, count yourself among the few. And if you're replaying it now, obsessing over every frame, every angle, you're not alone. The whole world is watching her now, and they're not blinking. So, what did Lisa truly intend to convey in that now legendary moment?